This is trade review on pound US dollar. It was a trade short taken right here on September 20th, 2020. The trade closed out for a 1% profit. I was targeting the uh, the lows down here. I was targeting a short all the way down to the lows for a risk reward of 20%. I do not normally target um, that high of a risk reward, but given the room that this trade had to the downside, I was wanting it to trend down a little more than it did. And in hindsight, I probably managed this a little too risky, given the deceleration on the lower time frames, which I will get into. But just starting here with the monthly, looking at where I got in, you can see it's a good level, and this is the month that I got in. It's now started October. Today is October 1st. So this is the month where I got in short. And on the weekly, where I got in, it was after some strong bearish momentum. And on the daily, it needed a pullback. It had been trending up, came down, broke this nice horizontal support and resistance line, came back, retested it in the 50 EMA, and this is where I got short. And I'm going to go to the lower time frames now and show you exactly where I entered. Start with the 4-hour. So the 4-hour had a nice bearish trend going, and it was pulling back to form a lower high and broke this trend line, which was more relevant on the 1-hour, which I will show you next. But broke down, came back, retested, and this is where I got short. So as you can see, it did drop to about a 6% position, and this is where I probably should have moved my stop down lower to lock in more profit. I was expecting a pullback to at least the 4-hour 50 EMA. I was actually asleep. This happened at 1 in the morning in my time zone. And had I had an alert set, but I was asleep to notify me if price was, breaking the certain level I'd set the alert at. But once I woke up and I saw that it was above this 50 EMA and was holding it, there was really no point in closing the trade out. All I did was I lowered my stop. It was at break even at this point, and once I saw this break of the 4-hour, I went ahead and locked in 1%, and that's what happened. It took me out right here for a 1% profit. But in hindsight, like I said, I should have managed this a little more closely, and considering it was running at 6% profit, for the month of September, I was already in some pretty decent profit. I think I was running, or I had closed out, I think around 6 or 7% profit for the month. before this trade. I can do a September month review for y'all and go over the trades I took over September. But with this closing out, I believe I was around 8% profit for the month of September. If I would have closed it out down here, possibly around 5%, then that would have been a 12% month. But let's see. So down here, yeah, it got to about 7.5% at the lowest. But realistically, I probably could have closed it for 5%. Let's go to the 1 hour. I like to manage my trades on the 4 hour. So if I would have lowered my stop to above the 4 hour 50, that was more of a 2.5% trade if I would have lowered my stop here, or from the get-go, if I would have just targeted these extreme lows over here, that would have been a 4.5-ish percent trade. So again, every trade you need to review and try to learn from it. This one, I don't normally target as far down on the daily as I have on this one. I still think it can go down to those daily lows. Those daily levels that I was targeting, somewhere around here. It just looks like the trend has changed on the daily. So, uptrend, lower low, first lower high, and that's whenever I was targeting this this level down here. So it's still looking good to go down to those levels. I'm probably going to be more interested in some other pairs at this point, and I've gone over those on my Forex pairs on watch for this week video. But you can see this weekly 50 MA is probably going to hold price a little longer. It hasn't been respected that well recently. You can see it just broke through here, and broke through here. So I wasn't worried as much about the weekly 50, but we will see. I'll go back to the 1 hour and talk more about the management, but we'll see what happens over the next week or so on what this pair does. There could be a chance to re-enter it short, and if I do, I will let y'all know. But let's just go back to the trade management. This is the 1 hour. You can see where it was entered. Really clean entry. This trend line is a really good trend line. When it broke below this false breakout right here, this was actually some news on the 17th of September. And so I was kind of disregarding this data right here just because it was a false breakout. So this trend line broke it, came back, retested this general area of the 0.5 fib, the 50 MA, and once it broke back down below the 50 MA, that's where I got short. And again, this is not the profit. This is where I got closed out for 1%. So I was in the trade and was at break even at this point, and then it consolidated. I moved my stop down to 1% and then was taken out. So again, on this trade, I think the lesson to learn for me is When I'm running a nice 5-6% profit and it starts decelerating this strong and forming this triple bottom down here, 1, 2, 3, and it breaks this 1 hour, maybe disregard my 4 hour trade management, which I was doing on this trade since I was targeting such a large percentage. If my month was not already in good enough profit, I probably, in hindsight, looking back, probably would have closed this trade down a little earlier. But anyways, just trying to be fully transparent with you guys on all my trades. This is still a good trade. You know, you can never complain about taking profit on any trade. Hope this trade review helps. Let me know if y'all have any questions, and I will be happy to help.